Okay, so you want to be successful, but you don't want to work. So let's talk about that because I hear that all the time. I want to be successful. I want this. I want that. I want to have finances. I want to lose weight. I want a successful relationship. I want a man. I want a husband. I want a new job. I want all these things, but don't want to work. So let's break this down a little bit. Like, by the way, so you might be seeing a lot more of these videos because I got a new selfie stick, right? And I'm loving my new selfie stick. And I also found out that my headphones got good audio because my cell phone's audio is kind of like messed up. You know, the older the phones get, the audio be messed up. So I was like, hold on, it's working out. I might have something. Let me just come on here and just do this video real quick. So I just wanted to touch on that real quick because I always hear that all the time. Like, I want to be successful, but you don't want to put in the work. That's very important in success. And I'm not just talking about financial success, I'm talking success in all areas of your life, spiritually, mentally, physically, all of those areas, financially, relationships, everything. It requires work. So let's break this down a little bit. So in Genesis 3, right, we see God banish Adam out of the garden, and he says to Adam, it says in the Bible, he sent him out to till the ground from which he came from. So tilling the ground or cultivating the ground. Some translations say cultivate. So when you're cultivating something, you're developing it, you're preparing it, right? So Adam was put here. We were put here to have dominion, right? We were put here to be fruitful, to multiply. So all those things require work. Now God put us here to do a job, not to get a job, but we have a job to do. And one of those jobs is to work. So the difference between work and having a job, work involves some effort in pursuit to the goal that you want to get to. So you have to put some effort into the goal that you want to get to. So if you want to lose weight, right, it's going to require some effort, some work in order for you to reach that goal or to be fruitful in that thing, for you to have great health, for you to look the way that you want to look, for your body to be healthy, for you to be mobile, for you to be able to do the things that God has called you to do. You have to be in great health or good health to be able to do all that God has called you to do. You can't be, God can't be sending you out somewhere on a mission and then you're tired. So you might need to work out, you need to exercise, you need to work that thing, you need to cultivate that thing in order for it to work. But I just hear this all the time about, success, but a lot of people don't like to put in the work to be successful. And in order for you to get somewhere, you're going to have to put in the work and put it in the work and effort. Making an effort to put in the work. And no, it's not always easy, but we sit here and we complain as if God has not already given us the tools to be successful. So if you want to be successful in your spiritual life, you're tired of getting beat up by the devil, you're tired of going in cycles, then there's some work that you have to do. And sometimes that work is just as simple as just releasing certain things to God. It's some things that you have to do. Sometimes it's just moving in obedience, that's going to get your spiritual life in order. Sometimes it's listening to God and not listening to a whole bunch of other people around you and doing what God told you to do in order to get your spiritual life. Sometimes it's changing your atmosphere and the people that you surround yourself with in order to get to where you're trying to go in life. Everybody can't go with you. You hear that all the time. Everybody can't go with you where God is trying to take you. We have relationships, some here for a season, some here for a lifetime, some just come and go. Relationships are all different things, but all of those relationships require a specific work from you or a specific effort from you as well. So sometimes we sit here and complain, God, why you're not doing this for me? God, I'm not hearing you. God, and God may have told you something as simple as just, I just want you to meal prep for the week. I just want you to be disciplined in that. Can you be disciplined in that? It's a work. Going to the grocery store, getting the groceries, cooking them, putting them up, planning them out. That's a work. It's a small work. But if you're complaining about why you're not making enough money, why you didn't get that promotion, why your business isn't going anywhere, but you're not disciplined in the small things, then how is he going to make you a ruler over the bigger things? So I think one of the things that we have to get is, in order to be successful in anything in life, you need to work. Yes, you can have all the faith in the world, but what does it say? Faith without works is dead. You have to work. There's an assignment that goes along with your faith. I can't say, oh, if diabetes run in my family, God, just heal me from these diabetes. I don't want this, the devil is attacking me with my health, but I'm still going out drinking sodas, getting fast food every day, eating all out of whack. I'm not doing any work to partner with my faith, and I'm not talking about miracles or anything like that. I'm specifically talking about having the faith but not doing the work at all. So there's a work assignment that is attached to your faith. And I'm not talking about overworking, because yes, there's a such thing of overworking and doing things outside of God's will. And that usually has something to do with our own flesh and how we want to do things and not what God told us to do. And a lot of times the work that God requires of us is not as strenuous as we make it ourselves. God may have just said, okay, I want you to, okay, for me, I'll use myself as an example. God was like, I just want you to be Holy Spirit led. And I just want you to do videos when I tell you to be Holy Spirit led. Okay? So I'm like, all right, Lord, you want me to do this thing? How do you want me to do it? I need to make a schedule. I need to do this, that, da, 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 da. And God was like, that's not what I told you to do. Like, yeah, I told you that this was for you, but that's not how I wanted it. So God had to take all that away. He had to strip all this stuff away from me. Me doing what I'm thinking. I made it way too extreme when God was just calling me to do something small, but it's almost like sometimes we miss the small point because we just think so big, we think so extreme. I want a new job, so let me go back to school and get a degree, but maybe God just said, okay, just tweak your resume a little bit and apply to the position, or go out and network with some people, and I'll put your name in their mouth. So I'll put your name in different rooms. So you don't even have to do all the extra stuff. But sometimes we just go so far ahead of God. And God is just calling us to do the small things. But they're small works. But they're very, very important. So we just hear that term all the time. I want to be successful, but you don't want to put in the work. How are you going to lose weight if you don't put in the work? How are you going to have finances or abundance if you don't put in the work, if you don't budget, if you just spend all over the place, if you just give in to everybody? Every time somebody calls and they say, let me borrow this, you just giving it right away. How are you going to get where you're trying to do if you're not putting in the effort to do it? So instead of complaining about your situation and what God is not doing for you, you need to figure out what you need to do for God in order to get to the place that you want to be. Because God is doing his part. He's always doing his part. But you have to be doing your part as well. So it's very important that you do your part and partner with God so that you can get all the things that God wants for you, all the things that God has called you to be. But it's going to require you to do some work. So I just wanted to put that out there. Just kind of was just, I don't know, laid on me, like, just to say this. Like I said, I got my new selfie stick and all that stuff, but it just, I don't know, that just came to me as far as success. I hear that all the time. I want to be successful, but you don't want to put in the work. People get jealous of millionaires and people that are worldly people that have all these things, but these people put in the work. They do go by principles. They go by God's principles. Now, they may not acknowledge that it is God's principle, but they do use God's principles. They work, they're disciplined, they give, they're not selfish, they're good stewards over their money. They're very scheduled and organized. They pray. Now, they can do whatever they want, but it's a principle that they follow. And like I said, although they may not acknowledge the Bible or anything like that, it's still biblical principles, because God owns the earth and the fullness there. He owns everything. We're here to work it. We're here to be in the earth and work these world systems. We're I ain't even gonna get into all of that, but we have a job to do. So you can't be sitting here jealous of the next person or jealous of somebody else that's doing X, Y, and Z, when they put in the work and you haven't put in the work, when you're selfish and you don't want to give, but that person gives all the time. You hear all the time about different celebrities and stuff donating to different charities and doing stuff or whatever, but you don't want to give to the man that's sitting on the side of the road. But you want God to just bless you with all this money and bless you with all of these things when you're selfish at heart, when you ignore the things that are important to him. So it's just a little self check. Do you want to be successful? But are you putting in the work? You need to ask yourself, are you putting in the work to be successful? And I'm not talking about working outside of God's will. I'm not talking about doing things in your own strength at all. I'm talking about the small things that God has told you to do in order for you to be more successful. It could be just being on your job and just being quiet. Like, it's stuff that's just as small as that, but it's an effort to keep your mouth shut when somebody says something smart to you and you want to go off, right? It's a work to keep your mouth shut, right? So it's very important. If you want to be successful, you have to put in the work. So I think that was it. I'm empty right now. I think I done poured it all out. So pray that helped you. If it did, share it with somebody, and I'll see y'all later.